Yo, what is up? It is ByteStage here, back for another video. Today's video, we're going to be talking about Supercross, the official video game 4, because they released a trailer a while back ago, so I finally had a chance to go over it. And I don't have any sample gameplay that I was able to film myself because Milestone has unfortunately not reached out to me again. I was hoping they would, but I don't know what my number is going to be at for them to do that. But anyways, so I actually took some gameplay footage from somebody else, so I have all their credits up on the screen and in the links below, just so you guys know that's not my footage. This is somebody else's because Milestone wouldn't hit me up again. So we're going to be going over that footage as well as talking about the new game and speculations we may have. But first of all, let's go ahead and look at the trailer and then let's talk about it.
So many things to do when you want to come out from the shadows and earn your place, to shine among the legends.
Can't stop, won't stop till we on top. Quick, I think not. Coming hot for the #1 spot, yeah. No key, got the game on lock, ayy. Victories when I take my shot, ayy. On the rise and we ain't gon' drop. On the grind, it's our time. Just watch. Get the crown because our time is now. Ayy, we gotta get it. Gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it.
Once you've earned your place, do your best to stay in the light. Monster Energy Supercross 4. Leave your mark.
Alright, so at the beginning of the trailer, they show Ken Roxon, which is a big deal because he wasn't in the previous game, but he was in Monster Energy Supercross 1 and 2. Obviously, they didn't have Tomac in the first and second game, I believe. I think he was only introduced until the third game. So the joke was like, okay, you can't have Ken Roxon and Eli Tomac together in the game. So in Supercross 4, they start off by showing Ken Roxon's bike, and then they proceed to show Eli Tomac and of course Cooper Webb, as he was the #1 plate. So in this game, he will be on the #1 bike. So for this game, Jason Anderson is actually on the #1 as he won the championship for that year, where the season they based it off of. So for this game, they'll base it off the previous season, which was with Cooper Webb on the #1. So Monster Energy Supercross 5 will have Eli Tomac on the 1. So that's kind of how it works. So this next game, so Supercross 4, will have Adam Cincerello and all those 250 guys that moved up to 450 last season. They will have them on there. And of course, they won't have the people that are moving up now, like Dylan Ferrandez, to the 450s until Supercross the official video game 5. Along as the new brand of bikes that got introduced. Well, technically we haven't even seen them in a Supercross race yet, which is the brand Gas Gas. But in the new MXGP game, they're actually going to have Gas Gas in there, but I think it's because they already raced them in MXGP. But that's a different video. What I'm trying to say is Justin Barcia, Pierce Brown, and Michael Moseman will be on the bikes that they were on before, so they won't be on Gas Gas, as it won't be in this next game. So next thing they show us in the trailer is these new skill rivalries. So there was also a video they posted on Instagram where basically this is something that I was hoping to see a while ago, which is where you start off in the game and you're not just like a pro like how the other games were. So you won't be immediately like racing against all these guys like Zach Osborne, Dean Wilson, all those big guys. You're not going to be racing against those pros yet. So they actually have a futures class, which would be cool. So hopefully maybe we'll see some smaller bike engines, so maybe some 85s or 125s, which would allow for the game to have 2 strokes, because obviously we had it in this game, but that was with a DLC and it was a 250 2-stroke, which, don't get me wrong, that was still really cool, but we would love to see some smaller engines in this game. And then the next one was rookies, which not exactly sure what that is. Obviously we know what futures is. They actually do that program. So rookies might be right before you go up to the pro level, as that's the following class is the pro level. But they had a separate video of that on Instagram showing that little tree, but they did mention that in the trailer, so I just wanted to go ahead and cover that real quick. So the next thing on the list that they have shown in the trailer is of course, new compound, which obviously they wouldn't do the same one, so I don't know why they even try to advertise that like it's a big thing. And then 4-player co-op, which not exactly sure how many there were in the last game, but honestly I never ever played with that, so it doesn't really affect me, and I'm sure not that many other people play with it, but I could be wrong. And then of course they improved the track editor. And an interesting thing, which I thought they had in this game, Supercross 3, but apparently not, was modules that were actually taken from the tracks from the previous season. So you can go in there and like use a little section from like Daytona, or, well, I don't know, I'm just making that up, but they're claiming that you're going to be able to have modules from other tracks that they've actually raced on, so official tracks. So be curious to see how that plays out. Don't know if it'll be a DLC. I'm assuming it wouldn't be, as they're advertising that in the trailer, but just really curious to see how that plays out. And they're always saying the track editor is improved, but honestly I haven't really seen a huge major difference from all the other previous ones. So the next thing they show in the trailer is how it's 60 frames per second, and they're calling it dynamic resolution, which I'm hoping means 4K. I mean, I'm assuming it would be, because I think the new Xbox is 4K compatible. I might be wrong, don't quote me on that. And the fact that it's also 60 frames per second is a big factor, because I'm assuming right now we're probably at 30 frames, which isn't too bad. You don't really notice it, but if you're doing videos and you want to like slow something down, it would be nice to, you know, have that at a 2x speed. So that was just a little thing that threw in there, which I'm sure every new game should have that, where it's higher quality, just to, you know, make up for the new Xboxes, which I think once again are 4K compatible. You wouldn't want to play a 1080p game on that. Kind of defeat the purpose of buying a new console. And of course at the end of the trailer they give us the release date, which unlike all of the other games, it's not in February, it's actually March 11th. So we can just assume that it's going to be pushed back to March 11th just because of COVID, because COVID gives everybody an excuse to push things back. Which, to be fair, well, this is another thing that I'm not 100% sure on. I'm assuming they will do this, but for the tracks, obviously, they base everything off the previous season. And the previous season was not like a normal season. It was kind of cut short, and they didn't go to all the stadiums, not even Las Vegas, which is where they've always finished the races. So they actually did a handful amount of rounds in Salt Lake, as we all know, because of COVID, so there's no fans. So I don't know if they're going to do the tracks that they were intended on doing, because I don't know if they started the game early when they had all the track maps and just started building them just to be ahead of time, or if they're just going to go in and actually do every track that we did, so they'll have those Salt Lake tracks. So I'm hoping that's the case, because I would love to have bunch of different Salt Lake rounds. That'll be really fun to do. And also I think this might be something that they would never like think of doing. This is just a really small detail, but to me I think it would kind of be very cool, is if the stadium was actually empty and all the flaggers and everybody, the mechanics, had like face masks on. I don't know if that's kind of cheesy or not, but I still think it would kind of be cool if they added that. But once again, I think that's a small detail that they wouldn't even consider adding. That's just going to mess up with their coding, because I'm assuming that all the coding from all the games are the same for the fans and all that stuff. But I just think that would be something cool to add. So Milestone, if you're watching this, please consider adding that. That little detail would make a huge difference, I would think, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm really curious to see what they do with the tracks, obviously, since they didn't go to every round. Because honestly, I was not expecting them to release Monster Energy Supercross 4 this coming year. To be honest with you guys, I thought they were just going to be like, okay, well, the Supercross season was kind of cut short. It's kind of weird, so let's just do a little DLC that has those few tracks that they got to race on. And let's just, you know, take this year to just work more on the game and have it really awesome for the previous year, so they're not going through and rushing stuff, and have a DLC to move up all those 250 guys to 450s, or maybe not even a DLC, maybe just a huge update so everybody has that. But nope, they're not doing that. They're gonna rush a new game, so I'll be curious to see all the bugs that come out in the game. But of course, they're pretty good about fixing those bugs once reported. But one thing they are not good at, which I saw on their Instagram, they advertised how they created a Discord, and problem number one that they did was that was the only place I've seen them advertise that. And if it's not, then well, that's another problem. They're not doing a good job advertising it. But they just had it linked in an Instagram post, so there wasn't actually a link that you could click on that would take you to the invite link. So you actually had to manually go into Discord and type in that link from Instagram. So there's only about 600 members, I would say, and the biggest problem is that there's absolutely no moderators. So there's all these rules, obviously, to, you know, be nice to everybody, not use cruel language or post inappropriate things. And well, a Discord with no moderators does not mix very well. So I would recommend you don't go onto that Discord, especially if you're younger, because there's some stuff on there that I've seen which I honestly think Milestone needs to do something quickly about this, because this just looks bad on their brand. It's like on their end, like I know there's no moderators right now, but that's kind of crazy how anybody can go on there and just post anything. So really hope that they fix that, because that's kind of disappointing. I was hoping to go into that Discord and people talk about it, but really it's just stuff that has nothing to do with the game at all. So once again, I would not recommend going to that Discord. I'm not even going to link it in my description, because I just feel like nobody should go on there until they actually put a moderator or two in there. So obviously we still have a few more months until the game is going to be released, so there should be some bug fixes in the alpha gameplay. So obviously I don't have access to the alpha gameplay. I'm just going to use somebody else's clips that they got from when they were able to test it out. Alright, so let's quickly go over this gameplay we have from Start Your Systems. So like I mentioned earlier, I didn't get access to the game, so we're just going to look at his. So he did a little race with Dylan Ferrandez. So this is 250s, of course. And honestly, it looks really good. I did notice that there's a lot more bike movement than the other games, I think. I mean, not really that much, but it looks a little bit better than the other ones. It's not as stiff, because in the last game I know they improved the actual rider's movement a lot, so that looks really good. So I also noticed that the whipping and scrubbing looks a little bit better as well. So once again, that might be them just fixing the bike movement. I mean, the bike still does look a little stiff. I feel like they can move it around a little bit more, but I think the whips do look a little bit better. And going through the whoops also looks a little bit better with the bike as well. So obviously Dylan was with the #1 as he won that championship. But another thing I noticed, which they do in every single game, is just the user interface. So like the little map, the timing, the gears you're in, and the name cards are all different fonts and colors, and just the styles changed up. So I noticed they do that every year, just, you know, just to make it look a little bit different from the other games, which I can understand. So nothing major there. But obviously this is alpha footage. This is the alpha version gameplay footage, so it's not going to be exactly how it will look. So the quality will be bumped up just a little bit more, I believe. But for now, this is all we have, unless, you know, Milestone wants to hit me up. But for now, that's all we have, so hopefully we'll get some more stuff later in the future. So yeah, just wanted to briefly talk about this. Just wanted to make known that I know about this game coming up, as I've always done videos for the new games. So obviously it's kind of weird how it's not in February, but that I can definitely understand because of COVID. But really excited for this game to come out. I'm going to have to wait a little bit longer than usual. So March 11th, once again, is the release date in 2021. So hopefully I'll have some more information on this game to do some more videos, but right now I just want to go over a brief little look over at this game. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Hopefully you learned a little more about this game, as I'm still trying to do my research and figure out more about it. But really excited. Hopefully this game has a bigger improvement over these other games, because I know a lot of people have been very upset with the Milestone games and actually prefer to use the MX versus ATV games, which honestly I prefer these games over there, the MX versus ATV games, but that's just my opinion. So yeah, hopefully Milestone will hit me up so I can have some gameplay to show you guys. But until then, I'll see you guys very, very soon in the next video. Peace out. Bye.